Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you for joining me here today. We're live on a Thursday, which is a little bit unusual. A bit of a bonus stream today. It's going to be a fun stream because we're going to be going over the top 10 entries into the GHOSTWAVE challenge. If you don't know what that is, I put the call out. I challenged everybody to take this sample folder that I have that I used to work on my album, some select samples from my source material. And I challenged you all to make this genre of GHOSTWAVE, which is a genre I pretty much made up. So that you could all experiment. And there were a lot of really interesting, cool results. And I'm excited to share them all with you. There were over 50 entries, actually. So over 50 people took on the challenge and submitted a track. I listened to all of them. I went through a very extensive process, listening to each one, then trying to make the list shorter so I could funnel it down into a top 10, and then ultimately a top 3, who I thought really hit it. And then there's going to be a top 3, like I just said, that get a prize package each. And there's going to be the number 1 winner we're going to do a collab. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Who in the chat, if you are here, good morning to all of you. I see you all, by the way. I see you all taking on the poll and such. A lot of coffee drinkers. Don't sleep on McDonald's coffee, says Gregory Blakely. I have to agree. McDonald's iced coffee is surprisingly not terrible. I remember occasionally, I used to live near McDonald's and I would stop. I would hit that drive-thru specifically for the iced coffee. Today, though, I am drinking tea. Usually my first drink of the day is some Earl Grey tea. I've been off coffee for a bit, but I have kind of fallen off that. So usually now I'm hitting an afternoon latte that I make at home. We have a very nice coffee maker at home. So I've been making a latte later in the day, help me get through the afternoon, because I don't know if it's the summer weather, if it's the, I don't know, allergies related to that, but the afternoons have been tough to get through lately. John Jill asks, any Wawa coffee drinkers? I don't know if I've ever been to a Wawa. Is that a Canadian situation? What's up, Milky Wave, tuning in from Greece? Where's everybody tuning in from today? I posted a Instagram story and I was like, imagine a radio show, but instead of just playing the top 10 hits, we're going to play great music from artists from around the world that you maybe have never heard of, independent artists from around the world. And that's I feel like a lot better than hearing the same songs every hour from big artists that everybody knows. So maybe you'll discover an artist that you like today. I hope. All over the place. Ohio, USA, UK, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Are you in both? How does that work? Or is that a town name in Mexico? I don't really know. Greece, France. This is a beautiful thing. This is why I like live streaming. Chicago, Italy, Las Vegas. Hello from Arizona. Hello. Yeah, we're going to have a great time today, my friends. This competition was thrown in partnership with High Note. If you don't know what High Note is, I've put a link in the description. But High Note is kind of like Google Drive for music producers. I'll show you the challenge page. It's kind of like Google Drive for music producers. Also, shout out to IK Multimedia and Baby Audio for putting together a prize package for this competition. So these are the first, second, and third place prize packages. If you participated at all, you're going to be getting this compressor limiter plugin from IK Multimedia. I'm not sure if those have been distributed yet, but they should be soon. First place, second place, third place prize packages. Good collection of plugins here. And then the number 1, we get official collab to be released during Beattober. So I'm really excited for that. These are really good prize packages, and this was a fun thing to be a part of. But High Note is cool, so check it out. Support the sponsor, support the channel. Also, I should mention that you can make an account on High Note for completely free. They have a totally free tier. Where you can upload like imagine you're working on your tunes, you want to upload your mixes, you want to upload maybe the artwork that you're working on for it, or especially if you're collaborating with people. There's ways to leave feedback on individual tracks. It's a very good system, better than Google Drive, which is what I used previously. There's just a lot more features for musicians. So it's the perfect platform for that. So if you're working on an album or something, or if you're like I do mix checks all the time where I'm working on a song and I want to go listen to it in the car, I want to go listen to it on my AirPods, I want to go listen to it on some other speaker, I would previously upload it to Google Drive and just do that. And I would take notes, like physical notes on the track. But with High Note, you can take notes right on your track, like similar to the SoundCloud commenting system. And you can even leave voice notes on tracks. So that's cool. So that's High Note. Sign up for free, 50 gigabytes of storage right off the bat, and no credit card required to get that free account. I think they've got a really cool product here. An audio-first alternative to WeTransfer, Dropbox, and Google Drive. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if any of you tried it out during the challenge. Well, everybody uploaded via High Note, so I'm not sure if anybody used more of the features as it went on. Curious to know, but that's what we're getting into today. Tijuana is a border town south of San Diego. The Mexican state is Baja California. Oh, the Mexican state is called Baja California. Interesting. I know Tijuana. I was confused by the Baja California part. Cool. Beta running the Big Apple. We got a friend tuning in from China. Y'all addicted to caffeine. That's true. Curtis, enlighten us. No caffeine in your life? I can't imagine it. Love these challenges. Regardless of the outcome, it always encourages you to put something out, even when you normally wouldn't. I agree. That's why I like to do these challenges. I think it brings us all together, and it gives us a chance to hear everybody's music while everybody's working from one source material, which I found this really interesting in this challenge because I gave you all the samples that I worked with on my album, and the stuff that you came up with, I was like, wait, we worked off the same samples? I could have made this, like, technically. So I think, like, if you hear somebody else's track and you really love it, I think that it will push you to be like, oh, I could have made something similar to this, you know, that kind of thing. But as we've been listening where everybody's tuning in from, it is also cool to think that you have not colleagues, but you're part of a community that is truly international. So if you ever want to connect with any of these people in the chat, it's a good way to do that. Last announcement before we start listening to the music. We are doing, if you like, so this format, I've already chosen the top 10 that we're going to be listening to today. If you want just general feedback on any track and it has nothing to do with this challenge or anything, we are doing a track feedback stream on Tuesday next week. So less than a week. On Tuesday next week, we are going to do a track feedback stream. So if you are trying to get feedback on your music, this is something for the summer we've been doing once per month. Now is the perfect time to become a channel member because channel members can submit music for the track feedback streams. It only costs $2. With that $2, you get access to our Discord server and a bunch of members-only content, behind-the-scenes stuff, members-only workshops, some videos, some sample packs as well. So check that out if that's interesting to you. If you have a track that you're working on that you really want to get some feedback on, or if you just want to get it played on stream, we're doing that next Tuesday. The spots are already filling up, so it usually does fill up. We go for about like 3 hours during that stream so that I can maintain my mental capacity and keep giving good feedback throughout. But that usually gets us to about 30 tracks or something like that. And members are already submitting in the Discord. So if you want to get in, it's the best time to become a member. And like I said, you could do that for at any tier gets you in, but you can do it for as low as $2. And that's the best way to support the channel directly. Why the stream started earlier? Did I mess up the stream start time? I think I was right. I scheduled it for 10:30, right? This is the time we usually stream, I believe. Check me on that, chat. Sometimes I do schedule the stream for the wrong time. I hope I didn't schedule it for like an AM PM situation. All right, final note here is that, like I said, I listened to every track. There were over 50 of them, so that was no small task. But please don't be offended if your track wasn't chosen. I put a lot of time into selecting the tracks for a challenge like this. I'm glad that I could select 10 for this particular challenge and at least give everybody a showcase and give this top 10 some feedback. Not everybody can be a winner. There were many very strong entries, and I looked at a couple layers of criteria, I guess, for judging my favorites. One, the spirit of the challenge. The spirit of the challenge was to make GHOSTWAVE, right? This genre that I made up. I gave a loose description of what that genre was, so I took into account how did people do when trying to execute on creating that genre. Two, along with the spirit of the competition, is it's a sample challenge, right? So how did they creatively use the samples? And then three, of course, how great was the song in the end, right? Like if the song was stellar, I felt like they took on the challenge of GHOSTWAVE and really put some thought into going in on that aesthetic, and they used the samples in creative ways. Those are the three main pieces of criteria that I have. So it was not easy, especially ranking, because music is so subjective, but I did rank a top 3. The ones that we will listen to before the top 3 are not in any particular order at all. So kick back, grab a drink. Oh, Simone Biles talking about a mic. Got a Lewitt LCT 440 recently, very crispy. Is that the one you have? No, this is the Ray mic. The Ray mic, which has the Aura technology, so I can start moving away, and I should stay about the same volume without shouting too much. As I get further away, the gain on the mic comes up automatically. I think that should be how this is working. I'll sound further away, of course, because of the proximity effect, but I won't be too boomy if I get closer, you know? So it's the Ray mic. How is every music producer a skater? Haha. Well, I'm a fake skater, to be honest. That's a skateboard that Arturia sent to me, and it's been like really hot here, so I haven't skated that much. I haven't skated that much on it, but I'm mostly into longboarding. I'm not doing any cool stuff like that. Good morning, Krios. Nice to see you. All right, let me end this poll here. The studio drinks. Coffee is the big winner. Something stronger? Not a lot of tea drinkers, but whatever it may be, stay hydrated, my friends. I ride my penny board all over town. The penny board is nice for portability, but I feel like the smaller boards are hard to control. To be honest, what happened was, when I used to work in Boston, I rode my longboard around, so I would go from work to like a cafe or something. So I was riding down this street in Boston on my longboard, and one day like a car was coming to like pass me on the side, so I wanted to scoot over to get out of their way so they could pass me. But when I did that, the wheels of my longboard caught the edge of the sidewalk, and this is after I bought my coffee, by the way. So I move over, wheels catch the side of the longboard. I'm going with the coffee in hand, and then boom, just straight forward. Board came to a stop. I kept going. Whew. Coffee down. I think I was like holding the styrofoam cup, and my thumb I grasped it, pierced the cup, and just like, ugh. So after that, I was not doing too much skateboarding or longboarding. How do we feel about this angle, by the way? I worked on some of the lighting stuff. I'm trying to give the warm vibes here. I'm trying to make everything feel cozy. Let me know how it looks. It doesn't look too different from before, probably, but we do have a slightly different angle. What do you think? Should we get into listening to some tracks? I'm going to pull each one of these tracks individually up in high note. And you know what? If y'all want to bookmark a link I have a link with all 50 submissions. I guess I could share that in the Discord as well. Here, I'm putting this in chat. This is a link to all 50 or whatever, however many submissions there are. So you can grab that and you can peruse and you can find your favorites. All right, so like I said, in no particular order, we're going to start working through some of these entries, starting with, let's get this loaded up here. This is really interesting the way it is on High Note. Everybody's like name or whatever is just in the file name. So I hope I get people's names right. If you're in the chat and this is you, let us know. But we're going to kick things off with Ming Cheng, Phantom. Our first in the top 10 on the GHOSTWAVE challenge. Keep me posted on the levels, by the way. So moody. I think this is truly a great execution of the GHOSTWAVE aesthetic. What do y'all think? Someone said it was a bit louder over my voice, so hopefully you can hear me a bit better now. That was Ming Cheng, everybody. Ming Cheng with Phantom. Give a round of applause. I think that was really, really strong. Really strong aesthetically. Definitely hit the GHOSTWAVE vibes. Everything was sort of like floating around, and it kind of had that dark tone to it, which I really, really like that. Hey, Miss Nadia. Thank you for the 27 months. Great atmosphere like a warm cabin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a wanderer for 27 months. Thank you for your support. Much appreciated. Members, don't forget that you also have a free member milestone chat. It's like a free super chat that you get every month. That was really, really cool. All right, so that's setting our tone here. I think there's going to be a few... They're not all going to be the exact same vibe. I think there's a good variation here. And I'm also going to be leaving feedback in High Note on each of everybody's submissions. So stay tuned for that. It's both melancholy and spiritually uplifting at the same time. That is a good description. Dope, dark beat, for sure, for sure. All right, let's go with the next one. Our next entry. Just getting used to setting all this up properly on screen in the High Note thing. Yo, Kai, thank you so much for the 19 months. 19 months. Big support. If you all notice, the member badges grow over time. You go from having a small little plant to growing much bigger into a much bigger flowering tree. Simone Biles, 1 month. I feel like a veteran. Welcome for your first month. Thank you so much. This tree has just begun to grow. We got a whole forest growing. All right, let's get into the next entry. The next one is Duranium with Drifting. Right off the bat.
Drifting away, moving apart, never stopping, never hoped it to start.
Great work on the vocals. You hear that bouncing delay around in our ears? So great, right? I kind of just wanted more, though. I wanted more. Like, look at even just the waveform. You can see the structure of the song, right? You have this very atmospheric intro, which probably could have been a little shorter because we want to get to the good stuff faster. But definitely, we could have done another one of these sections again, another variation on it. But that was very, very cool. Shout out to Duranium, another one in our top 10. Let's keep cruising through. What a nice show. Hey, we do what we can around here. But yeah, this is like a, I think college radio, I guess, is the closest thing to this, right? Just stunning. I love this. What a drum beat here. Nice, clean production. A lot of big emojis in chat. Cool. Yes, that was great. All right, let's keep going. Like I said, the first two, different vibes, but still hitting that GHOSTWAVE kind of aesthetic. Next up, BBH with Past Echoes from the Future. Let me know if we're clipping it all. I'm trying to adjust the levels, make sure everything's set properly. I like this one for the retro feel for sure. I think there's a place for that in the GHOSTWAVE aesthetic. comes. Did you see it coming? All right, that's Gaetano. That's you in the chat. Congrats, my friend. That's a beautiful track right there. I love the switch up at the end. You did a great job building this up from like a super like ambient spooky thing at the beginning, then giving us that retro wave vibe here, and hitting us with the double time drum and bass situation. Ooh, so smooth. Took us on a journey for sure. Well done. Very well done. Congrats on making it into the top 10. Congrats on that. Argnostic in the chat. Argnostic. I listen these tracks and feel so stupid. Don't feel so stupid. Everybody is at their own spot in music production, you know. This is a big this is different than our normal track review streams, right? This is like a competition where like people are submitting and I have to funnel it down to what I think are the best 10 tracks, which is not easy anyway. But even if you're a beginner, and you're sort of like self-aware, like I'm a beginner, I'm going to enter this competition, but I don't really have a chance at winning because my skills aren't there yet. That is a perfectly valid mentality to have. That's also a better mentality than some folks that are beginners or their skills are not up to snuff and they think they're going to win everything, or worse, like they think they're entitled to win, or that, what do I want to say? Like they're just like blinded by their own inexperience, so they think they should win. So my point there is like, even if you're a beginner and you know your skills are still growing and that in comparison to other people in the community, your skills might not be as high, the competitions like these are still valid, are still well worth doing. Like I definitely did competitions at the beginning of my journey where I was pushed to sort of like do my best, but I wasn't going to be nearly as good as some of the other submissions, you know? But that push is enough to keep you going. That's how the progress happens, you know? So definitely don't feel stupid if you hear some of these submissions and you're like, wow, these are so much better quality than mine, because of course, that's the world. That's how it is. That's where you are in your journey, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not alone in that, you know? For sure. Kyle says, I had fun doing it. Exactly. And it can just be a fun thing to do. Anyway, you can learn a little something from it. Being a beginner is not only improving in what you want to do, but also improving in your way of facing failure. It's a double effort. Yes. Well put, Miss Nadia. Well put. ADR X-Ray says, I'm a beginner and I just wanted the experience of the challenge. I learned a lot in the process. That's great. And you can hear what's possible. But these people that you're hearing their music today, they didn't just fall out of a coconut tree, if you know what I mean. They exist in the context of all the production experience that came before. Right? Right. All right, let's go on to the next one. I got Bird Beat up next. Bird Beat also making it into our top 10. How's our top 10 sounding so far? It would make a pretty good playlist, no? Bird Beat with Bad. Shout out to Bird Beat.
Bird on his head.
The drums on this just hit. I talked over my favorite part. I apologize. Shout out Bird Beat. I think that's the artist name. Shout out Bird Beat. I think that's dope. That's a head bobber, wouldn't you say? I like that haunting, spooky carnival sound. I guess it does have like a totally like spooky carnival vibe. This just sticks in my head and love it. Yes, I want to do a playlist with all 10 top 10. It would be really cool. We did I wonder if people would be down if the top 10. Here's my big plan. My big idea is that we could potentially do, or what I want to do is possibly release like a special edition version of my album during Beattober and have all the proceeds go to the charity. But I also thought there could be some kind of like community compilation. So I wonder if this top 10 could be the community compilation, and the sales could go to the charity. Everybody would have to agree to that, obviously, but like kind of release it on Bandcamp kind of thing. And then the collab that I do with the number one producer, that would be cool. Just a thought, because I think these songs all have their own vibe to them, but something is binding them together, right? I think the GHOSTWAVE aesthetic is binding them all together. Gregory says, I entered, and from what I'm hearing, I gotta step my game up. All this stuff so far is fire. This also lets you know how strong the talent in this community is, and I'm glad to be a part of it. We got a very talented community here, but don't forget that not everybody started at this level. A lot of people have really, really progressed. A lot of people have really grown over the years. Some people come in strong. Some people find my channel or find this community and they've already been doing it for years. Some people find the channel and they're beginners and they just start diving in and they grow a lot over time. So it's really cool. Let's keep it moving though. That was Bird Beat. All right, next. We actually have a community regular up next, with a track called Poltergeist. This is Arnie Kator.
Nope, sounds way too friendly. Listen.
There's one that hits it with the taiko vibes a little bit with this guitar. I love that. The ending reminds me of like checking out of the Matrix, basically. That was so cool. Arnie, well done. I love the guitar stuff that's happening there. I love the ambience of all of it. Very, very cool. We have some new folks in the chat, or folks that just jumping in and want to know, like, how do we like what's going on, how are people submitting music. So this thing that we're doing right now, we are reviewing top 10 entries from a competition or a challenge that has been ongoing for about a month. So today we're not taking submissions from everybody. However, next Tuesday, and this stream is already scheduled on the channel, you can already send your reminder, we're doing track feedback that will be open to anybody. And when I say anybody, I mean anybody can become a channel member and get feedback. So next Tuesday, if you want to submit music and get your music played on stream, if you want feedback on that music, all you have to do is become a channel member by hitting the join button. You become a channel member for as low as $2. That's the best way to support the channel and get access to a bunch of stuff, like our Discord server, which is where you submit your track to get it played on stream and get feedback. Anybody who submits their music via that gets their track played and gets feedback on their track. Usually by the time the stream comes up, by Tuesday, we're almost full on submissions. We do about 30 per stream. So that's happening next Tuesday. So if you're a producer out there and you just found this community and you want to be a part of something like this, Tuesday is the day to come hang out. Even if you don't want to become a member right now, just come hang out on Tuesday. You can see from today's chat that everybody's very supportive and very, very positive. And we have a lot of talent in the community, but we have a lot of beginners as well. So we judge everybody accordingly. So that's for all my new folks that are jumping in, like Mitrava Runa. I don't know if that's how I say that name. And Dr. Strangelove. Next Tuesday is the day for you both. But hang out, have a good time, listen to some good music. I think these entries are really, really good. Is this number 10? This is not quite number 10. We were working up. We have done 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. That was number 6. But these are in no particular order. The top 3 are in a particular order. So we have 2 more to listen to before we get to the top 10. And I hope everybody is having a good time. If you don't know, we are usually live on Mondays, but our schedule is a little weird in the coming week. So stay tuned. I'll try to be here next Tuesday. Thanks for the catch up. Yeah, here, before you jump, let me throw this in the chat because the stream is already scheduled and you can click set reminder. And better yet, you can see the stream start time and all that in your time zone. So everybody, I'm dropping a link in the chat right now. It's for next week's feedback stream. Click on that link and then hit set reminder, and you should get a reminder when we go live. And you'll be able to see it in your time zone. So don't skip out on that. Kai, good luck at work for the rest of the day. Thanks for hanging out. All right, shall we keep it moving? We got 2 more tracks to listen to before we get to the top 3, the big 3. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a listen. All right, here we have a track. I believe the track is called Shimmer, and the artist name is Memory Noise. Let's give a listen. Let me know what you think of the track in chat. I'm sure the people who create these tracks want to hear what you all think of it too, so definitely share your feedback and what you think in chat. Yes, Polaris, open your DAW. Get to making some music. Be inspired. So cool. So good use of silence. Very cool. Very cool track. I don't know anything about how this track was made, but to me, it gives off the vibe of like somebody using some of the Electron gear, you know, like a Model Cycles or something like that. Some kind of Dig Attack vibes, maybe. I don't know. I would love to know the approach to making this kind of track. And it's cool to hear how different people use similar samples. There was a big trend across the entries, like, or not one big trend, but I saw trends in the samples that people tended to use, and I thought that that was cool. People using them in similar ways, people using them in different ways, that kind of thing. Sounds trippy AF. I can definitely listen to it for an extended amount of time. I agree. It's got that clickiness to it. I think those clicks are a cool texture, but I think they're coming in a little loud. But I'm gonna leave feedback on these top 10 in high note. If you notice in high note, you can leave text. Oh, I don't have permission. I'm not logged in. That's why. You can leave text feedback. You can leave a sticker. You can leave voice feedback, and you can even put a poll. So like if you had a drop and you're like, oh, should I do this here or should I do a filter here or whatever, you could do a poll and share it with your collaborators or your friends or whatever. I think it's just a cool overall platform for this kind of thing for audio. And if you notice, we have the version tabs as well. So if this is like every mix revision I do is like there's so many versions, but you can add more versions of your tracks as you make them, so you can always go back and listen to previous versions, which I think is very helpful when you're producing an album, that kind of thing. Texture is really good. My sampler allows 8 sounds. It was hard to choose which ones to use. Oh, interesting. It was cool. It's cool that you limited yourself to that. And I remember your entry, Dungeon Master. Your entry was more like ambient kind of, right? Look, if I may, I don't want everybody to see this. I don't want everybody to see like the actual names on this list or anything. Well, it doesn't really matter at this point. But this is me trying to come up with a short list. This is me like listening through all the entries, and every time one would come up that like really piqued my interest that I thought could fit in the top 10, I wrote it down, and I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 25 that I wrote down out of the 50 that I was considering for the top 10, and then I went through again and listened to all those again and whittled it down. So that's like my process there. Jacob says, I need to start using High Note more. It seems a helpful tool for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's free. It's free to use. And the winners, the top 3 winners are going to get the premium versions too, which just has more capabilities, maybe more storage space, more collaboration features, perhaps. I really like using High Note. We're using it to collaborate on our Christmas album. Nice. That's awesome. Polaris says, can someone drop the Discord link? Our Discord is open to channel members. So when we do a challenge like this, we open up a section of the Discord for everybody, but this challenge is ending. So I'm probably not going to share the link to that section anymore because the challenge is done. But if you do want to be a part of the Discord server and you like the overall vibes here, consider becoming a member of the channel. It's a good way to support and be a part of a cool community. So, all right, we have one more entry. Yeah, we have one more entry before we get to the top 3, everybody. So let's do this. One more entry before we get to the top 3. This one, I don't know the artist's name, and the track is just titled GHOSTWAVE. So let's give it a listen. A lot of people use this sample at the beginning here. My Geiger Crickets sample, I think is what I called it. I love that skip sample too. A lot of people use that too. That's the SP404 tape effect, by the way. And then it just ends. Where's the ending? Are these samples on the Discord as well? These samples, to be honest, you can probably... These samples you can grab on the high note. See, let me see if I can find it. If you... Give me one moment on that question. This is going to be something that you're not going to be able to do probably after today. But I think if you do this today, you can still grab the samples. This is obviously the challenge is over, but the page is still up. So you might be able to still go to the page, sign up, and get the samples. Because the samples are in a high note space. That's what they call it. When you're like working on a track and you upload it to high note and you upload a bunch of stuff to high note, you're uploading it to like a space. So the space for the competition will be at that page. And I think it should still be open today. Should still be open. But my friends, we have reached a moment of great importance. We are at the point where it's time to listen to the top 3 entries. And if you're unfamiliar with why that's important, the top 3 entries are going to be receiving prizes, a prize package. Third place will be receiving the Moto Bass 2 plus Moto Drum 1.5 from IK Multimedia. Baby Audio Atoms, which is a personal favorite, and a year of High Note Pro. This altogether is over a $500 package for third place. Second place, receiving IK Multimedia's Piano Verse Max. This is a huge package as well as Baby Audio Atoms. First place, a year of High Note Pro. IK Multimedia Total Studio 4 Max all-in-one bundle. the Baby Audio Complete bundle, and an official collab with yours truly to be released during Beattober. So that is what is on the line here for the top 3. I, however, need to use the restroom before we continue. I've drank too much tea. Is that okay? If I drank too much tea, can I go to the restroom? Will you all stay? I'm going to put on a tune for you all, and then we will continue on. Here, let me find videos, playlist. Did you know I have a playlist of lo-fi beats and performances? Who knew? Here, let me throw on this Archeria one. Actually, no. Let's put on Nostalgia Core, because that's sort of like the where this all began. Here, enjoy this live performance, and I'll be right back. I'm back. What's up? Alright. Wow, I really enjoyed making that track right there. Yeah, that was Nostalgia Core. That was from my album. And that album... Wait, should I just address the elephant in the room? This whole GHOSTWAVE thing, by the way, when I was making my album... I just had this idea in mind of this genre called Ghostwave. I just made it up, and I kind of came up with an aesthetic in my mind of what this genre was. And that's how this idea came to be. And for me, I found this really helpful, and I don't know if anybody else wants to try a similar experiment, but I came up with this idea of Ghostwave so that I could find my own style, because I was finding that I didn't know what my style was. I was trying to make lo-fi beats and then this electronic mishmash. But funneling it into this idea of Ghostwave is really helpful. And if you look on the channel under playlists, you can find, let's see here. You can find the Ghostwave playlist. And in the Ghostwave playlist, what you can find is stream archives of me making Ghostwave, and this is now a members only playlist. So if you jump into this,
simpler instrument,
you will see
it's just layers of
you'll see me working with the same samples that you all were working with first of all, but you'll see how the album actually came together. So let me see. I just want to jump to some music and see which track I was working on here.
A little bit of pulse here, but let me record some in that tutorial.
Stop talking. Music. Play the music, bro. I'm my own YouTube commenter. Yeah, but regardless, another reason to become a member. I mean, there's 7 2-hour long each videos here, basically. So it's like 14 hours of content where you can watch behind the scenes of making the album. Which I think could be very useful. You know, tutorials are one thing. I try to do my best with giving nice little short tutorials, but there's really we live in a great time because you can watch somebody work on an album in full, and seeing that whole nitty-gritty process can be extremely informative. Or at least I have found it with people that I watch make music, you know, that inside look versus just the little tips here and there. You know, you never really get the full idea of what's going on behind the artistic practice until you actually immerse yourself in it, you know. Very polished production, mates. Congrats to everyone. Yeah, congrats to everybody who entered. I mean, I listened to all the tracks. I can hear everybody's effort and everybody's thoughtfulness in doing this challenge. There weren't any entries that I thought were sort of like phoned in or like completely awful. There were just some submissions that stood out, and I think you can see we just listened to 7 of the top 10 that they're very the bar is pretty high. But now the bar is getting even higher because it's time to listen to the top 3. So shall we just jump right in? We're going to listen to the 3rd place entry now. The 3rd place entry. And the 3rd place entry is by a producer named Juan Per S. And the track is called Phantom Limb Syndrome for the GHOSTWAVE contest. That bounce! Give it up for Juan! Give it up! Congrats to Juan. Great work on that one. A lot of kind words in chat as well. Yeah, fantastic entry. Just had my head bobbing, you know, and it made me think, you know, this idea of GHOSTWAVE, it doesn't have to be like sad and slow. It can actually be, and this is still melancholic, but it's got that kind of upbeat vibe to it. The other thing about the mix too is that there's a lot of the ambient stuff happening in the stereo field, but it's never quite getting muddy. All the little pieces, you can pick out all the little pieces, whether it's that bass line, some of the vocal stuff coming in, or just some of the weird textural stuff. So they did a great job both on the technical production and I think music compositionally really, really strong. So congrats to Juan on the 3rd place spot. You're gonna get a nice package of plugins and a Year of High Note Pro. So shout out to you, Juan. By the way, I forgot to mention this earlier, or maybe I did, but everybody who entered is getting a limiting compressor plugin from IK Multimedia. So everybody should be getting that. Congrats to Juan. All right. Shall we move on? We got to move on to the second place. Second place, another plugin package. These are big plugin packages, by the way. These are worth a lot. But the next entry is... all it is it's not titled with an artist name or anything. It's just titled ghostly.mp3. Let's give it a listen. Give it up for Ghostly in the second place spot. Just beautiful piano to kick it off here. The GHOSTWAVE aesthetic to a T, I think, is super ethereal. And that percussion is just so meaty in texture. Ah. And cinematic too. Heck yeah, Simone Biles has such a full sound on my monitors. Josh says this needs to be on my Spotify regular playlist now. Such a great entry. Another round of applause for ghostly.mp3. That's the info I got. Shout out to Ghostly. I can't wait to shout all these producers out. I think I have the info for each producer in the back end, but really, really strong. Do you all hear I always get insecure when doing these competitions and challenges where I have to pick winners. But do y'all hear like the quality level? Is anybody questioning that these are the top 10 or that the past two that we've just heard are in the top 3? Is anybody questioning? I don't think there could be any question. Of course, music is subjective, but these are quality tunes. Can tell these artists really understood the assignment. You know what I'm saying? I'm really proud of everybody. Good job. But that was Ghostly. Another prize package for the second place spot. Let me jump here again just to refresh everybody's memory before we hit the first prize winner. We've given away the third place bundle. We've given away the second place bundle. But the first place winner will get an official collab with me. The Baby Audio Complete Bundle, a nearly $1,000 value. The IK Multimedia Total Studio 4 Max all-in-one bundle, $600 value. And a year of High Note Pro. That's a year of High Note Pro across the board for these winners. And don't forget, if you entered this competition, you are also getting a $100 compressor limiter plugin from IK Multimedia, and a special shout out to IK Multimedia and Baby Audio for putting these prize packages together, along with High Note for starting the whole competition. It's really great vibes, and you know what? Even better vibes than the music that we're listening to today. Everybody in chat being so supportive and so kind and so positive. That is will make me feel good for the rest of the day, the rest of the week, you know? Thank you all for being a supportive community. The more we can do stuff like this, the better. I feel like this is better than just me, us doing a contest, me saying, hey, everybody, a contest, and then announcing the winners on an Instagram story or something like that. The fact that we can all sort of like be a part of this thing together, I think it's a little something different. So if you are feeling the vibes here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and make sure you set reminders so you can catch future streams or whatever. But don't be a stranger, you know? I do videos, I do streams. I know it's a lot of different kind of content. That's kind of what I do. A little MIDI keyboard action over here, a little making house music over here, drum machine, lo-fi beats, whatever. It's a little all over the place, but it's the community. That's the thing. Good morning, be jammin' since birth. You tuned in right at the right moment, because we are about to listen to the number one entry into the GHOSTWAVE challenge. You better leave this stream up so we can hear all these bangers. I will for sure leave it up. I will work on getting a playlist together. Oh, I will also drop links in the Discord for everybody who participated, so you can see your entries. The bar just went bananas. That percussion is what got me. It hit and it's a wrap. Everything else is icing, brother, all day. I know, that percussion was so good. So good. I like that we are all here together too, vibing out and enjoying some good music. Yes. Really enjoyed the process of the challenge. TAETRO, thank you. I'm glad, Jimmy. I'm glad. We'll do more in the future. And by the way, some of you are new here, some of you who don't know, we do a big challenge every October called Beattober. It's a big Beattober challenge. And if you think these are good vibes, imagine these vibes, but like twice a week, and also people upload tracks every day. The challenge for Beattober is to make a beat and upload a video every single day. And then we raise money for charity as well. So Beattober is like an even bigger event, similar to this one. Imagine one of these challenges like basically every week, and there's so many prizes to give away. I'm already lining up the prizes for Beattober, and there's going to be a lot. Beattober is going to look slightly different this year, which I'll discuss soon, but we're going to have a great time. So again, if you are enjoying the vibes, if you're new here, just find your way to stay connected. Don't let this get lost in your internet abyss. I know what that's like. You watch an artist that you really like, or you watch a performance that you really like, and then you can't remember their name or the name of the video or the name of the track, and it's a whole mess. But nonetheless, it is time to listen to the number one entry. I do think you all are going to enjoy it. This is the winner. This is the one I'll be collaborating with for Beattober. This is the number one spot, the big prize, if you will. This track is called Nothing Stays the Same. and it's by an artist called Recorderoy. Give it a listen. Claps in the chat for Recorderoy, our winner. Woo! So smooth. That bass line. That inhale is perfect. I love that. I love the way the kind of vibraphone instrument and the bass line talk to each other in that melody. So good. So shout out once again, Recorderoy. Such a good name too. Recorderoy. Really fantastic beat there. Just like a warm, fuzzy feeling when listening to this beat, but also like a little haunting, a little melancholy. I think that's the through line with GHOSTWAVE. Like it can be perceived as like cozy, but it can also be perceived as like a little spooky. But yeah, great work on the percussion here, just very smooth. From a technical perspective, the production is great. I love the sound of the whole thing, and from the spirit of the challenge standpoint, making a track that truly feels GHOSTWAVE, I think Recorderoy hit the nail on the head here. Heck yes. So I'm going to be reaching out, or High Note's going to be reaching out to winners for their prize packages and whatnot. I'm going to be leaving feedback on each of the top 10 tracks, and then I'm going to get to work trying to get the collab together with Recorderoy. But yeah, this all together would make a really fantastic playlist. So I'll see what I can do if we can get this together as like a compilation or something. Release it in October or something. That'd be really cool. But don't forget, y'all. So if you're working on tracks right now, we're doing a feedback stream on Tuesday. So if you want to have your track played on stream and you want to get feedback for it, it's the perfect opportunity. Like I said, these producers, they didn't just start making music yesterday. They've been working hard on their music for sure. You can hear their experience. It comes through in the quality of their production. And one way to significantly improve your production is to get some feedback. Don't just be on your own in your home studio. And don't just ask the random friend that doesn't have any musical experience what they think. Although that feedback can be valid too. Be a part of a supportive community where you're going to get like really useful feedback, and you can be inspired by the other people in the community. So you can do that by becoming a channel member. If you dig the vibes here, it's the best way to support the channel. Make sure I don't got to make like clickbaity Mr. Beast versions of music production content, and depend on like the ad revenue. So if you become a channel member, it really supports in that way. I can focus on making content that y'all enjoy versus chasing an algorithm, you know?
But yeah, really great community to be a part of. You can see there's lots of members in chat, everybody with a little tree next to their name. And we have a very supportive Discord community over there where we share not just musical things, but we share life things, recipes, food, photography, and art. A lot of talented visual artists in here that take great photos. And Miss Nadia being one of them, a huge, amazing visual artist who's currently working on super secret stuff for Beattober 2024. Stay tuned. It's looking amazing. Can't wait for the merch this time around. But y'all, that's it for our stream today, I think. That's all we got. We'll be back live on Tuesday. I'm also working on a really dope video right now. Actually, here, y'all want a sneak peek of the video I'm working on? It's going to be about building your dream setup. I'm going to kind of talk through my process. But in doing that, I created a live performance with that setup that I've been showing off. Some of you might not have seen it. Here, let me pull up the performance. If I can find it. I can't find it. Stand by. Oh, yes, it's alphabetical. It's going to be here. Here, let's preview that for y'all. Oh, that one can't be opened, so that's interesting. This is part of the video that I'm working on right now. Very big live performance setup, and I'm going to be breaking down the setup and some things about building your own. But I'm going to release this is like a... How long is this? Yeah, this is like a almost 7-minute live performance that I'm going to be dropping as well. That goes with it. I won't spoil it too much, but I had a lot of fun making this. I've said too much already. I've shared too much already. But S1 in MIDI Lab, perhaps. You'll have to wait and see. But yeah, that's going to be the next video dropping on the channel. I'm currently working on editing it. And let me ask your opinion on one thing before we go. Usually with these videos, sometimes I do a performance and a tutorial of some sort. And I usually, like, the performance will be within the tutorial, but I'll also post the performance as its own video. A, do you even like that concept? And B, which one should come out first? The tutorial or the performance? Which one should come out first? I could go either way. If I drop the performance first, people ask questions and are like, oh, well, how do I do this? What is this? Blah, blah, blah. And then I drop the tutorial and I can answer their questions. And then if I drop the tutorial first, people are like, I want the performance on its own so I can just listen to it. I don't know. It's like a minutia. I was asking you recently to do another live looping breakdown recently. I'm in. I think drop the track first. Well, that's good because I've already edited the performance video. So I could drop that first, then drop the tutorial video. They're going to come out one day from each other, by the way. Regardless. Pretty much. Probably like a Monday and a Wednesday drop. It works best. Oh, Dustin says, I like the commentary over the performance. I think you did that a few times. Yeah, let me do that for members this time around because there's a lot of funny things that happen during this performance. Funny little mistakes. This notebook is full. What am I doing? Commentary. But that's really... Yeah, that's good member content. I don't know, like, what I would do without y'all reminding me of things. I just do too many... I feel like I like do a lot of things and I forget what I did. Commentary over performance. Got it. Yeah, that's good. Am I going to review Akai 3.0? Are we talking about, is it at the MPC 3.0? I saw that Av McCree dropped a video about it. If you all want to hear from somebody who's like really in that space, I definitely recommend Av McCree on that front. But MPC 3.0, I did skim his video on it. I'm not a huge fan of the MPC software. And to me, I'm sure for people that are in that workflow, it's a big update, an upgrade. But to me, it still looked like MPC workflow. So I'm not so intrigued. But no shade to my MPC users out there. I just don't gel with the workflow. We got a lot of MPC users in the chat. I have an MPC 1 somewhere in the garage, I think. What's really funny, chat, I'll say one last thing about this performance. I hope this isn't too frustrating for everybody, but this performance is going to be... There's two shots. There's this straight ahead shot, and there's this over the shoulder shot. But as you can see, when I filmed the video, I just keep stepping in front of that camera. It was really dumb of me to put the camera there. So basically in the first part of the video, I cut to that shot when I can, but then it comes to a point where it's just like not even useful or helpful to cut to the other camera. So it just becomes this straight on shot. So I hope that's not too frustrating for people. You can still kind of see each piece of gear. And if you just follow the hands, you can see what's happening, I think. Yeah, I'm stoked for this video though. MPC 3 is more doll-like, it seems. I'm a little worried. It's very, like, when I look at the MPC interface, again, peace and love to my MPC lovers. When I look at the interface for the MPC, it looks like menu diving on an old Windows computer. It doesn't feel like a very fluid process. Like, it's very, like, Windowsy. It's very, like, drop-down menu, program, track, like... But people are doing great things with NPCs, so who am I to say? That's going to be it for now, folks, though. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this stream, I should say. Hope you enjoyed the top 10. Go back and give them a listen again. I will drop the links to all of these in the Discord for the challenge. And I'll work on getting in contact with everybody. In contact with Corduroy for the collabs. For the collab. And then maybe talk about doing like some kind of Beattober compilation. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you all next week for our track feedback stream. Members, make sure you get your submissions in. If you're not a member yet, become one so you can submit. And that's going to be it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.